Welcome back to Trailer Park Cooking. I'm Genie B. Delishus. We are continuing on with things that we can cook with when we don't have much. I know a lot of people gave me some flack at some earlier shows that I did, the ramen noodle stir fry, about the Trailer Park Cooking and the white trash and the redneck shit. But let me tell you something. When you are in poverty, that means below the means of the average in society, and you're living in a trailer park because that's the only damn affordable housing there is, and you're renting from a slumlord who's giving you, I don't know, you're still paying like $600 a month plus $300 in utilities, but you can't get into a nicer apartment and live in anywhere else, so that's your choice. So most of your rent goes to the shitty house that you're living in, and you don't have much for food. So you have a choice. If you have kids, you might get help from the state and get food stamps. I didn't get food stamps. This is what I had to do. I had to go to food banks. I had to go to the churches. I had to get items that I could actually feed my kids with while working a full-time job, making $10 an hour, which raising kids, going through divorce, all that shit, that's the way it is. So to continue on with our show of cooking below the means, things that you can make a meal out of that are tasty. One of the things that they always have in these places, such as churches and food banks and stuff like that, when you're too rich to afford food stamps, or your husband's getting them before, your ex-husband's getting them before you, and you have to figure out a way to feed your kids, but you still got to pay your bills. So you get beans a lot. There's always beans, there's always rice. And it's actually amazing what you can do. It just so happens that these are black beans, and they are hard beans, so you have to soak them overnight before you cook them. So you soak them in the water, and then rinse them off in the morning, and then you can put them in your crock pot on a lower heat, and while you're at work, you can cook them, all day. Throw, maybe an onion, some jalapenos in there, and that's exactly what we did. So we have a crock pot here full of black beans that have been cooking overnight, and they are done. So black beans are nice and healthy, and they're tasty and nutritious for you, and there's a lot of things that you can make with black beans. So after the onions and everything have been in here and they've been cooking overnight and the black beans have cooked, what I do sometimes is put ham hocks, because out of the meat department you can buy like 4 ham hocks for like $4. So it's super cheap to get ham hocks, but there's no ham hocks in this one this time. It's just onions and some black beans. So I have a little tiny strainer here, and I'm just going to strain some black beans in this strainer because today we're going to be making a form of street taco. You can get corn tortillas super cheap, and they're tasty. Kind of need to warm them up. Either you can put them on your burner and warm them up by holding them, or just like I do, I just put a little oil in a pan and heat them up on both sides and set them aside. So we're going to use the black beans, we're going to use the tortillas. One of the things I always notice is that you never really get cheese at those places, so cheese is one of those things that you always have to end up buying on the side. Raising 4 kids, or trying to raise 4 kids the best I could with what I had. We didn't have much, and I couldn't get food stamps because I made too much money to get food stamps. So I relied on things like food banks. So cooking below the means. So we got some cheese. This is a Great Value brand. What we're going to use as a topping for our street tacos. We got some extra jalapenos that we're going to add to our street tacos. And then of course I'm going to top my street taco with like some Cholula and ranch dressing. So let's get started. Just going to take some of these black beans and strain them out. Getting all that extra juice off of them. The juice is probably good for you. I know it is good for you. There's a lot of water in this dish. I don't usually add as much water, but somehow we ended up with more water this time. So I'm just going to let these kind of sit in the sink and let them drain. In the meantime, 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. I take one down and pass it around, 99 bottles of beer on the wall. I guess it would be 98 after that. Alright. Got your basic shitty cooking pans. You notice all the Teflon's coming in. If you notice after you cook in these pans, you get a slight case of diarrhea. It's because of the Teflon that chips off. Just letting you know. Another thing that poor people have to deal with. And if a pan company wants to contact me about giving me some ceramic pans to cook in, I would gladly share them with my producer and do it on the show. Oops, that was a little too much oil. So I got it on my favorite heat, number 6. I got paper towels because, you know, gotta have paper towels. And just set them on the counter. Got this little bit of a tortilla here. Alright, so you have your little corn tortillas, aren't they cute? I got a pan of hot grease. What kind of hot grease? And you're just gonna put your tortillas in there with your hot grease. And you're gonna kind of cook them on each side, just like you've probably seen in previous episodes of Genie B Delishus.
And go ahead.
Alright, so I'm going to add some jalapenos to a pan. We got a little tiny bit of leftover oil from the cooking. And then our fabulous vinos. You might need a little bit more oil, so we got your black beans. Oops, drop them on the floor. We got the jalapenos. And there's already onions that have been cooked in there, so I'm just gonna heat them up. Do it enough so they're nice and warm and so on and so forth. You got your beans and you got your jalapenos. And you take your little tiny taco and you just scoop a little bit of the taco beans in there. Of course, we want a little cheese, because cheese is always good. Oh, aren't they cute? And now we're going to smother it with some Cholula. And a little ranch dressing. Oh, this has got a pop top. Surprised there's no water added to it. Alright, so now it's time to test it. So we got our beans that we cooked overnight, we got our cheese, Cholula, little jalapeno, a little bit of oil, so on, and a tortilla, of course. Now we're going to try our little street tacos. These are amazing. They're on the spicy side, so if your kids don't like spicy, don't add jalapenos. But my kids, they didn't mind spicy so much, so. Now I'm gonna eat about 20 of these. They're so good. Make sure you give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Make sure you subscribe. Like us on Facebook, leave a comment down below, look at our other shows, and of course, always join me for another great recipe on Trailer Park Cooking. I'm Genie B Delishus. Bye, you all.